Welcome to Star Hotel. We are a 250 rooms management company operated hotel located in an easy access riverfront city. Our guests come from all over the world and expect exceptional value at discounted prices in order to make the most of their trip and to better appreciate our city's year-round arts, agriculture, and music festivals. Unfortunately, in the past 2 years, the market has faced a steady performance decline due to a strengthened competition and a weakened economy making loans impossible. Hotels in the market, therefore, have been unable to refurbish and keep up the value to face this new competition. To make the most of the upcoming year, Star Hotel bases its activity on the Association Outlook updates. From the second quarters, guests will be able to enjoy the service of the new legacy air carrier and discount airline available in the area, making trips more effective and cheaper. From June, the new Civic Center will open with a full program of agriculture and sporting events, making stays more eventful and entertaining. Thanks to the new original tourism promotional budget, gradually through the year, welcome centers are experiences high telephone and visitor traffic improvements.
Our team is here to present and analyze our performance for the past year. To begin with, Lee will give an overview of the past year, followed by Carolina's presentation of quarters 1 and 2, and Maeva's presentation of quarters 3 and 4. Then, Lee will explain our pricing strategy, the effects it had on our positioning, as well as our performance towards the groups. Inchin will then present the effects of our investments on guest satisfaction, and Kilung will compare our sales and marketing expenses to the revenue generated. Finally, I will summarize the main recommendations we would like to give Star Hotel to ensure continued growth.
In the first half of the year, we experienced constant growth of net profit, GOP, and total revenue. After the peak months in July, there is a constant declination. However, we lose less compared to competitors. This argument will be justified in later slides. From the indexes, we can see it fluctuated a lot. We did quite bad in the beginning due to wrong strategy. In May, we accepted a large group with a price of 114, which drags down ADR. After 2 months growth, we made bad forecasting. For August, our ADR is way higher than average and leads to a drop in occupancy and RevPAR. However, everything was back to the right track in the last few months. We boost occupancy with relatively low price.
For quarter 1, we set prices too high compared to the low quality we were offering. We spotted this halfway through the quarter and changed our strategy from a maximum price strategy to a competition-based strategy. With this, we aim to position ourselves aligned with the market average. Additionally, we did not invest enough on service and facilities, which led to a low customer satisfaction and thus a low positioning in the customer's mind. When we decided to do this, we thought it would be beneficial to make repairs one at a time instead of making it all together in order to ensure quality during peak season. However, this was not a good idea as it did not allow Star Hotel to have a jump start compared to the other hotels in our concept. Regarding the marketing and advertisement, we did not invest enough on marketing tools and misallocated the budget on the advertisement segments, which could have potentially resulted on a lack of outreach and touchpoints upon opening. We realized we should target transient guests through direct channels, therefore invest the most advertisement on them. However, we did not target properly the groups as we erroneously thought that they would book through OTAs when in fact they were all segments were heavily booking through direct channels. All of the previous factors together resulted in a low occupancy, low ADR, and therefore a low RevPAR. However, we noticed our errors in time and could improve month by month. Being in the first quarter, we wanted to get a feel of our concept and the industry standards, justifying why we took our chances. For the second quarter, we decided to change our strategy. We averaged our prices to bring our indexes closer to the baseline and make our prices justify our quality. The price of 114 francs that was presented for the month of May allowed us to get the group request. We know that the location should have led us to raise our prices, but mistakenly, we also raised the weekend prices. Although we won the group, we still spent a lot of money in marketing. This was a mistake because the group ensured a high occupancy and therefore heavy marketing was not needed. We thought it would be a great idea to invest as much as our competitors were doing in areas they were renovating. Regarding the marketing for this quarter, we decided to invest in all the marketing tools and managed to prioritize the channels of advertisement, which resulted in higher returns. This allowed us to properly prepare for peak season. Improvements in marketing and customer satisfaction helped us justify the increase in ADR and therefore our KPI indexes.
Regarding the pricing, we had a bad forecast in July and August. We expected a high demand from small group on weekends and therefore increase our price for this segment. However, the other team did not increase their price, or at least not as much as we did. For this reason, our group occupancy dropped. In September, we adjusted our prices to fix this mistake. For the refurbishment in Q3, we started spending more in refurbishment than in facilities and services. Although it is a peak season, we decided to do some refurbishment because our quality level on the price-value map was still lower compared to our competitors. Concerning the marketing, we decided to focus on direct as it is where we capture most of our customers from. We gradually increased our marketing and advertising expenses throughout the quarters, and we doubled it from Q1 to Q3. Such decision positioned us as the third biggest spender out of 9. In conclusion, correct pricing strategy, high investment in refurbishment and expenses on direct channel allowed us to achieve a high RevPAR in September. Regarding pricing, we changed to a low price strategy since our quality was lower than average. As a result, our occupancy was higher than the market and we achieved a good RevPAR index. However, the percentage of net profit dropped. For refurbishment in this last quarter, we tried to simply maintain the quality level. Therefore, we made some refurbishment in October so we would benefit from it during the quarter, but then invested only a little or not at all. We decided to limit our investment in order to have lower expenses during the last quarter. Concerning the marketing, we spent almost the same amount as in Q3. Even though the percentage of marketing expenses to the revenue is actually higher in Q4 than Q3, we did not spend more than the average. Since it is the low peak season, we can consider that we did well during Q4. By minimizing our expenses and lowering our price, driving a high occupancy, we managed to perform even though the market was experiencing a general turn down.
So now I'll start the analyzing of pricing. From the indexes by months, we can see we have 3 different strategies in different quarters. In the first quarter, we have a raise strategy, which is we try to aim for high ADR and expect to have high returns. However, it seems like lack of the support of quality, our occupancy is really low. So start from the second and third quarter, we try to get ourselves close to the baseline and we change to a competition-based pricing. And in this way, you can see our net profit margin increase a lot, which I will show you in the next slide. And starting in the last quarter, we changed to a low price strategy, which is lowering ADR and boosting occupancy. And in May, we can see our occupancy is really high. It's because we accept the group in a low price. And in August, because of the bad forecasting, our RevPAR index drops. On this graph, you can see the percentage of GOP and net profit to revenue. We can see in the first quarter, our net profit margin is either negative or low. And start from the second quarter, when we shift to a competition-based strategy, our net profit margin raised to up 20%. And in the last quarter, due to the low price strategy, we dropped to lower than 20%. In order to compare with the market, I will use a price value map. From the first 2 months, January and February, you can see we have the highest price in the market. However, our quality is not the best. That's why we are in the fourth quadrant, which means high price, low quality. When price and quality are not aligned, which usually result in bad performance. However, in March and April, we shift back to the origin, and that's why our occupancy starts to rise. And in May and June, we shift to the third quadrant, which is low price, low quality. Even though it's not the best model, but at least our price and quality start to align and occupancy is reaching the highest we can. In July, August, and September, which are the peak season, we can see we stick to our competition-based strategy, which is, so we are located closer and closer to origin. Even though in August we have a bad forecasting, but in other months we are doing well. And then October, November, and December we have a low price strategy. We can see we are almost the lowest price in the market, but we are still on the average of quality. In the first RFP, we did not win the group because we are our lack of understanding of the market. So in May, we further drop our price to compete with others. That's why we win the group and we adjust our strategy with it. That's why we still profit from that. And then in July, we know it's a peak season, so we raise our price to the level that we think is reasonable. And then in November, since our occupancy is still high, so we had a bad forecast. We thought the demand in market is still high, so we did not lower the price. But in fact, we should have a price as low as around 100 to win that group, and it will still be profitable.
The refurbishment graph, we can find out that our hotel kept the satisfaction level between 55% to 69%, which means that even though we were not the best quality hotel in the market, we maintained our quality at a similar level. For service, we made late investment decision. It caused our service satisfaction very low at Q1. Waiting until July, our satisfaction increased to 92% and lasts for the rest of the year. Q2 and 3 were our peak season. However, we did not get ready until the peak season have come, which may affect our occupancy rate. For facility, we only invest for 4 types of facilities, and we made same mistake like service. Beside the budget problem, we invest in facility too late, only from 0% to 50% for the satisfaction rate until August. At the time the peak season almost finished, the lack of facility also become a factor that caused low occupancy rate. Looking at the overall investment and average satisfaction graph, we spent almost 500K at January and renovating meeting room and building business center. This decision only helped us increase 14% of satisfaction. In contrast, at May we spent only 100K, mainly invest on service department, which increased the satisfaction 12%. Comparing the cost and gaining, we think we made a bad investment order, spending too much on projects that bring limited benefit. Now let us talk about how the satisfaction affect the occupancy rate. The graph proves that beside the pricing strategy, actually the occupancy line have similar fluctuation with the satisfaction line. The better satisfaction, the higher occupancy rate, except for May because we have a group. In conclusion, our hotel need to pay more attention on investment decision making. For further recommendation, my colleagues will talk about later. Here come to the graph we used to compare our hotel and market occupancy rate by using refurbishment satisfaction level as a variable. As we can see, the market and our hotel were following the trend of better satisfaction and higher occupancy rate. However, in May, June, July, our hotel has some conflict performance. During these 3 months, our satisfaction level were lower than the market level. However, we have a higher occupancy rate than the market. To find out the problem, we could refer to the price-value graph. This graph shows that our hotel having aligned price and quality strategy, which was low price and low quality. Meanwhile, in the market, including our hotels, only 3 hotels using correct strategy. Therefore, we could conclude that the right strategy attracts to the right customer. So we have the higher occupancy rate, even our quality was lower than the market.
For the analysis of marketing and advertising, the first graph shows that the marketing and sales expenses are aligned with the revenue, which means that we have a good marketing strategy. This graph are using the multiplier effect to analyze, which are about the revenue mix versus the marketing and advertising expenses mix. If the percentage of the revenue is higher than the expenses, which means that we can generate more revenue by investing more. From the transient segment, we are doing quite well since the percentage of the expenses are just slightly lower than the percentage of the revenue generated, which is around 3%. From the discount segment, we can see that the percentage of the revenue is around 5% higher than the expenses. And from the group segment, we can see that the percentage of the revenue is around 4% lower than the expenses. Therefore, we should lower the expenses from the transient and group segments, which two are generating less profits, and increase the expenses for the discount segment, which is the most profitable. For the advertising and marketing, we base our strategy on the market momentum to decide the amount of money allocated for each segment. From the room forecasting, we found that the demand coming from the direct channel is the highest. Therefore, we focus on the direct channel and try to optimize the market momentum. However, comparing with the room revenue, our marketing and advertising expenses are around 3% to 5% of the revenue, which are shown in the graph, and we should increase the expenses to 4 to 6% in order to achieve the best market momentum around the concepts.
Now that the year is over, our team came up with recommendations in order to avoid repeating their previous mistakes and to keep improving the ameliorations we have started. Firstly, we would like to advise to choose a clear strategy based on the set quality. As we have experimented 3 types of strategy throughout this year, we strongly praise our hotel to apply a competition-based pricing. Such strategy has proved to show the highest performances regardless of the toughly predictable market. To maximize the benefits of this strategy, we additionally encourage to perform a deep market study to reduce the gap between our predictions and the actual market state. Secondly, we recommend to begin the year by conducting refurbishment, service, and facility investment in order to set high quality for a Star Hotel. Such high quality would allow to raise our positioning towards customer from the beginning of the year, but also to set ourselves apart from our competition. This would moreover allow Star Hotel to allocate funds where it is most needed in the following quarters and to keep all the rooms in order for the higher occupancy seasons. Our investing is not efficient, but being able to align price and quality sets higher return. A higher quality will allow us to justify our higher prices, once again positioning ourselves differently than our competitions, therefore attracting more customers. Star Hotel should simply maintain the quality installed instead of trying to improve it all along the year. Finally, we propose to conduct a new market study in order to find out which segment uses which channels based on our revenue mix. This would allow Star Hotel to market the channels and segment which sets the highest return. Future marketing could then base itself on accurate and recent data according to the external and internal factors. The aforementioned study would then help Star Hotel better forecast its occupancy and set its rate more appropriately.